Hey, this is Rocket Brain Surgeon, and I'm looking at the 8.8 version of the Super Pershing. The Super Pershing is a Tier 8 American medium tank. It's also a premium, which means it gets increased credit earnings and can act as a crew trainer for your other medium tanks. For example, if you have an Easy 8, the Tier 6 American medium, you can take that crew and without training them, pop them in this tank, and the experience that they get will level them up, and it will still perform as if they were trained for this tank. Anyway, in 8.8, Wargaming made some changes to the Super Pershing. Some people claim that these were nerfs. Wargaming claimed that these were not nerfs. However, as a consolation, Wargaming decided that they would offer to buy back the Super Pershing for gold. Yeah, I think it's a fair compromise. Playing the Super Pershing on the test server, it feels very similar to how it was. It has, while being named a medium tank, it does not perform as a medium. You can see we're very, very slow as we kind of trudge along. It also has incredible frontal armor. The front armor is spaced, which means it will eat a lot of shots. It won't necessarily count as a bounce sometimes, but it won't penetrate. It has a couple weak points, most notably on the neck of the Super Pershing and the pipes. You can see them on top of the turret. It has okay maneuverability, barely acceptable, I guess we'll put it that way. Very limited traverse. The gun, it's a low damage tank. Even with a rammer, it only manages to get about 1700 damage per minute. The penetration is relatively low for a tank that is going to mostly be doing front or face-to-face engagements, 170 penetration. 240 average damage is on the standard side for a Tier 8 medium. However, for the heavy, which it effectively is, it's fairly low. We're on Karelia, and this is actually Assault. We are the assaulting side. A little bit about this map and game mode is that this side I feel much more comfortable with. The reason why is the defending area for Karelia is difficult to defend because it's easy to spot people from very far away. Now the tank in front of me is the Chinese Tier 8 heavy tank, the 112. This is also getting re-released. In this game we have a lot of Super Pershings, a lot of 112s, and a lot of the new Chinese Tier 8 medium, the T-34-3. You're going to seeing that I'm trying to pen his hatch. Now, since this is off of a replay, where I'm aiming doesn't necessarily indicate where I aimed in the actual game. So I saw something a little bit different. I'll try to enunciate where exactly or what I was trying to do. And right here I was trying to hit the top of hatch. On the 110, it has an incredibly strong upper front plate and a weak lower glacis. However, his lower plate was being hidden by the hill there. So I was trying to pen hit him through the commander hatch. Now you'll see there's a Super Pershing. I finally get him too. Took a lot of shots. There's a Super Pershing right there. He's a carbon copy of me. And I'm aiming for the upper pipes on his turret. 170 pen isn't enough to go through just left clicking on his tanks, even with a 250 pen gun. And I'm trying to hit him in the side, and I've gotten lucky a couple of times. With the accuracy changes in 8.6, where everything is more accurate, you're seeing that I can damage him very consistently from long range. But you have to know where to aim. Now, a lot of people, what we're going to see coming up is your opponents won't necessarily know how to aim. This is a great strength of the tank, and this is a great weakness. So right now, I'm just having my way with him from about 350 meters or so, damaging him like no other. That's due to the increased accuracy from 8.6 changes. I do bounce one off the side of his turret right there. There's also a JT-88 that is firing You can see him on the screen there. I'm not shooting at him because I want to finish off the Super Pershing. The Super Pershing has incredibly thin side armor. So while it's very tough from the front, if it gets flanked, it's not going to fare very well. Finally finish him off. I have 4 kills at this point, and there's 2, I think that's a Tiger 2 off in the distance. There's 2 enemies that I have to deal with frontally. Notice that they've both shot at me, and I've taken very little damage so far in this game. So we're going to see this JT-88, and he has a 175 pen gun, I believe. We're going to see him bounce shot after shot after shot off of me. Again, if your opponent doesn't really know where to aim, the Super Pershing is almost indestructible as long as they don't get on your sides. My team is failing around me, which is pretty standard. The Super Pershing, one of its strengths, I'm trying to aim for the lower plate on the JT-88, and I'm not really being successful. I'm running low on ammo, but this is a great boon of the Super Pershing, is it survives so long. So while the gun may be lackluster, you can see that he's not damaging me. I finally get through to him, and I've finally started to switch to APCR. I don't like using premium ammo with premium tanks, because the idea of a premium tank is you want to grind credits, and if you're spending significantly more credits per shot, and you can see how my last several shots have gone through due to the premium ammo. And I finally finish him off. That's something, the base round of the Super Pershing is relatively weak. The protection is excellent. The mobility is below average. And because you're in these face-to-face engagements, notice that I've spent a lot of time shooting at weak spots, a lot of time firing over and over again from long range. I really can't close the distance too terribly much. Then they get better shots on my weak spots. Here's a Super Pershing who kind of snuck up behind me, and we're going to get in a face-to-face engagement. Now this player is a relatively new player. I can tell that because he's still not damaging me. And so when he misses his shots, notice I'm trying to aim at the pipes, I do a very poor job right there. I'm trying to put that tank, since I know that dead tank, I'm trying to put that between myself and the Tiger, because my sides are very weak. See, right there I hit him in the side, and it goes right through. There is no problem there. There's just a little bit of jockeying around here. I don't want to willingly advance because I don't want to trade hit points with him. So when he misses another shot, that's when I can advance on him. Because I'm at a lower life, I have about 30% of my hit points, and he had 80 before that shot. He keeps missing. This is one of those tanks where it's great against people who don't know how to aim. There are people in this game who use the auto-aim function of the interface, and the auto-aim function is very poor because it will aim directly at your mantlet. The mantlet is the spot where the gun meets the turret. That's typically the toughest part of your tank. However, in my experience with this game for about 2 years, there's actually a lot of people who use the auto-aim function. It's not all bad. And I bounced one off the pipes right there. It's not all bad, but it's not that great either. So we've found the person in front of us who probably isn't the most skilled player. So when we're face hugging like this, I'm trying to hit the pipes, and my opponent is not doing a very good job. So I decide to go for the neck. You can hit him in the neck anywhere where the tank meets the turret, but the sides of the neck are particularly vulnerable because they don't have spaced armor. And here, a Tiger, I'm going to try to face hug him and live. But I get blown up. So Super Pershing, the overall results, I think it's actually very good from a protection standpoint, not great from a mobility or firepower standpoint. Happy hunting.